Hi, I'm Zakari. Welcome to episode 2 of my Minecraft Let's Play. This episode, I want to complete the pumpkin pie farm. It's time for an upgrade. I built this starter farm to get enough pumpkin seeds to build an industrial version, and we are ready to get started. My idea is to build the farms in the heart of the mountain back here. So we'll be building the sugarcane and the pumpkin farms, and then transport all of the items via minecart back through this ravine into the house here. Whoops, I totally thought I was recording and I definitely wasn't, and I unfortunately just realized that now. But I got a good start on the tunnel. I chose the height of the floor where I'm building it right now, just based on the height of the water out there. So this way it can extend the whole way out to the ocean. And I think that'll make it look really nice. So as I'm expanding this deeper into the mountain, I really want to keep that meandering effect that the ravine already has. And I think the easiest way to get that meandering is just going to be to make this dig a couple blocks to the side and then a little bit later go a few blocks to the other side. And so just kind of as we go deeper, it's going to alternate between going to the left and then going to the right, and that should end up giving us this kind of snaking motion all the way down. I like the meandering effect because it adds a little bit of a mystery around the tunnel, and I think it really helps that you can't see the end of it. It just makes it really look like the tunnel goes on for a long time, but then when you're actually traveling through it, it doesn't go as far. I also want to round out the ceiling of the tunnel because the ravine already has that shape, and I think it's going to make it look a lot more organic. I think 7 blocks tall is going to look pretty good, but I'm not entirely sure about that, so I'm going to do a quick little section to test it out. Let's see how this looks. I like it. I think it looks really great, and I think the height worked out well. I added a little bit of like an asymmetry to the ceiling where like some parts of it stick out more than others, and I think that looks really nice. But also this happened by complete accident, but by having all the torches on the bottom, it really makes the top look darker, and I think that makes it look even taller than it is. And overall, turned out a lot better than I expected, so I'm really happy with this. And I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the tunnel. Okay, I'm done with the shape of the tunnel. I think I want to find the spot where I'm going to be building the pumpkin farm. I think right along one of these edges is going to be the perfect spot for it. The pumpkin farm itself is going to be kind of a square, and so by using the flat edge of the cave, I can blend the farm better into the tunnel. Right, so now that I've dug out this room here, we can see that this looks pretty nice. I should have plenty of space to work with. For this farm, we're going to be using a minecart with hopper rail system to collect all of the items. So the first thing that I need to do is power our rail at the end here. On top of this, we're going to have our minecart with hopper. That's going to go across, and then the dirt. On top of this dirt is where we'll have the pumpkin stem. On top of this, we can actually go ahead and put in our observer. And so when the stem grows a pumpkin, it's going to send a pulse here. We can use that pulse to power a piston that will then break the pumpkin. And now just a quick test to make sure that this works right. When the plant grows, the piston should go ahead and fire and break the pumpkin. This is perfect. Awesome. Now all that we have to do is repeat this a bunch of times. Let's go. Awesome. I think this looks really cool, and it didn't take that long to come together. The farm is complete and will automatically harvest the pumpkins as they grow. We just need to collect them. So for now, I think that can be as simple as placing this hopper minecart, and it's just going to go around and pick up all the items. And so we should see that pumpkin back there gets picked up. Okay, minecart coming around. Nice. So as I'm looking around, I'm noticing that there's a little bit of a problem. The stems in the front aren't growing at all. and I think it's because they need some more light. So now I have a couple of ideas on how I can light up the pumpkin farm, and I was actually thinking, what would be perfect? Jack-o'-lanterns. And that I think they'll really fit the theme well as too, because they look like the pumpkins, and they'll also produce quite a bit of light in the middle of the farm, and I can place them right above the water. All right, so now I'm going to be waiting a little bit for these pumpkin stems to grow, and so I was thinking maybe in the meantime we can get something else done. And you know what else I think would be really fun? I think we could do some exploring. And given that this is the Caves and Cliffs update, I think it's time we checked out the big caves. It's a little hard to see everything that's going on over here, but I can already hear that there's some monsters, and so this might be a bit scary. So who's gonna win, me or the cave monsters? I'll be surprised if I don't die here. 10 seconds in, I'm already almost dying. I am definitely not going that way. But I do see this lush cave up ahead this way, and I think that might be pretty cool to go check out. And whoa, does this just look so cool? I just really love all of the vegetation and the vines and the glowberries. It just adds such a splash of color. It really makes you kind of want to like turn any of these lush caves into like a little second home. And you know what is even better? Since there's already some light from the glowberries, there will be so many less mobs here. A creeper. And he's got a buddy. And a third one. Nice. So I think I've done all of the exploring I want to do for now, but there's all of these ores here, and I know I'm going to need these resources later, so we might as well take them. And you know what else I just realized? I haven't died during this cave exploration at all, so I am counting that as a double win. So that's 1 for Zakari and 0 for cave monsters. So now that I'm back from the caves, I think it is time that we go check out the pumpkin farm and see how much all the stems have grown. And wow, have they all grown? This looks awesome. All of these pumpkins are ready to go. And in fact, we just saw another one. So you know what that means. We're done with phase 2 of our pumpkin pie farm. We've got the eggs from episode 1, and now we have the pumpkins done. So it's time to move on to the sugar cane. And I think I know the perfect spot for it. It's going to go right in this wall over here, opposing the pumpkin farm, and I think that's just going to look awesome because, again, this is going to be a rectangular farm, and this is what the room looks like. It's quite a bit bigger than the pumpkin farm, but I think this will do just nicely, and hopefully if I've done my math right, we won't have to make the room any bigger. And so now we just need to craft all of the materials for the farm. One of the biggest things we're going to need is a bunch of pistons. There we go. All right, 2 stacks of pistons. So that means that there'll be 2 stacks worth of sugarcane per harvest. And then just gonna need to make about 2 stacks of observers as well. But I think that's gonna be a little tricky because we only have 42 quartz here. So I'm thinking about it. Do I wanna go on a nether mining session again? You know what? I think I have an idea. I can just change the farm design up a little bit, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So here we are in a creative world, and so what our farm is going to look like, we're going to have the same style of design with the rails going across that we did in our last one. On top of this is where our sugar cane is going to fall. So in order to place the sugar cane though, we actually need to get some water behind them. And the easiest way to do that is to use waterlogged stairs, and this way the water doesn't go everywhere, but you can also still place the sugar cane. This is the simple part of the farm here, but what gets complicated is we need to harvest this automatically. And so the first thing that we can do is just have these pistons. When it grows to the 3rd block tall, we want to harvest them. And so my initial design was just going to have something like this, where as soon as any of the sugarcane grows, it will go ahead and clear the whole row. And so what that looks like is just like this. Now, unfortunately, we don't have all of the observers for that. And so there's actually a pretty simple fix that we can do. And it's just we can knock out all of these observers in the middle. And the only catch is that in these edges, it becomes a little bit different for the redstone. And what this should mean, once I just cover up this, is that if the sugarcane grows here, it's not going to get harvested, but as soon as this one does, it'll still harvest the full row. So now we are back in our survival world. I've gathered up a full inventory of all of the items that we need to be able to make the farm. Let's go. Awesome. I can't believe I got the math right. We just have to hook up the minecart to pick up all the items. We have the minecart over here. I was thinking it would look so cool if it went up and over and then into the sugarcane farm. Now I'm wondering how high up we should put this, and I think 4 should be great. Sweet. And then I was thinking, I think it would look cool with these. We'll have to see what it looks like, of course. But I think the trapdoors look might be pretty cool. I don't know if I'm feeling this one as much. It looks a little bit blocky up there. That looks better, yeah. And now we just need to bring this up and over to the bridge, and then let's see what it looks like. All right, I think this looks so cool with the minecart going up and over. But there's one problem though. It's not picking up this item that's right at the edge here. And I think there's a simple fix for that. We just got to move this rail out by 1. So that should do the trick. And you know, we're also going to need to deal with some storage for these items. I know long term I want to store these in the house that I built in episode 1. But I think for now we just want to store them in a chest. This way we can get the farms going. And this is actually one of my favorite ways to get all the items out of a hopper. It's super simple to build, and all it requires is the hopper, a redstone comparator, a torch, and then a redstone dust. And then on top of your hopper, you have your powered rail. And then basically, as soon as the minecart's empty, it's going to send off the minecart again. And now it's just a matter of testing this. So I'm going to add the minecart with hopper here. And when it comes back, Awesome. Yeah, it's just entering all the items directly into the hopper, which enters into the chest. And as soon as that minecart is empty, it's off again. And with that, you know what that means. We now have enough pumpkins and sugar cane. And all we need to do is grab the eggs and we can go ahead and make some pumpkin pie. In the time that it's taken me to build the other 2 farms, we have plenty of eggs to make all the pumpkin pie we ever need. So, and now with all 3 farms created, we can go ahead and start making the pumpkin pie from the sugar, eggs, and pumpkin. Oh, and this is the best food in the game. See, look, even the Wandering Trader agrees. Don't you think so? Yeah, totally, 100%. And on that note, I think I'm going to stop for this episode. But first of all, I wanted to say thank you all for watching. And as a recap of what we did in today's episode, we got the pumpkin pie farm completely set up and working. We did some cave exploring too, and that was a lot of fun. And I wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek at what we're going to be doing next episode. So you remember when we did the cave exploring? Well, I found an abandoned mine shaft, and so I definitely want to check that out next episode. See you in the next one. Bye.